Hi folks, welcome back to this week's video. Challenging conditions here today. I've come down to Church Cove at Gunwalloe with the intention of walking the coast path and trying to see what compositions I can find to do some long exposure photography out here. Now, I'm sure most of you have had some bad weather over the last few days. It's been pretty wet and windy here in Cornwall, and today is looking like the only opportunity I'm going to have to get out and do a video for probably about the next week. So I wanted to get out and try and get this done. And as I said, I've come down here to Church Cove at Gunwalloe, and the conditions are pretty challenging. We've got some wind coming off the sea. We've got some mist and misty rain that's coming in, which is great for our atmosphere, but not so good when everything's getting soaking wet. I'm not quite sure whether to bring a raincoat or a hoodie or what I should be wearing today, really. So I haven't come very far from the car park yet, really. I'm just up here on the cliff tops. The car park is just over there, and I've already had a soaking. So we're off to a bad start, but there's some beautiful light, some really, really nice light around. The conditions, I mean, the conditions, as you can see, are very changeable. You can see it behind me right now. It's changing as I'm talking to you. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab my gear, start out on the coast path towards Low Bar, and see what compositions I can find as we go. We'll stop and talk about whatever we find, and I'll try and do a little bit of a long exposure tutorial as we go. And hopefully we get some images, some nice moody skies, maybe some nice long exposures. We'll see what happens. But today's going to be a challenging one. So I think we might have some photography about to happen. I've come over the cliffs there. I've panned around just a moment ago. You saw the little cove, and also I panned around behind me there back towards Poldew, and the mist coming in over the tops of the cliffs. It's just absolutely beautiful out here. But that rain, when it comes, is incessant for a minute or two. But this little cove, so I spotted this little cove down here, and you know me, I do love a nice isolated cove, and that's certainly, this qualifies. So I'm just waiting now for some cloud to come over, because we've actually hit a bit of a clear patch, and the sun is quite bright coming back off of that sea. And then I'm going to get the camera set up to do some long exposures. I'm thinking I'm going to go with a 10 stop for this, because there is quite a lot of light. It is quite bright still, and I really want to smooth out that water. There's not an enormous amount of movement down there, so I really want to try and smooth out that water. So I think I'm going to go with the 10 stop ND for this, and probably the 3 stop medium GND. Obviously the true color polarizer is already on there. I've had to switch my lens. Normally I shoot with the 24-105. I've actually had to switch over to the 16-35 for this, because I'm so close to what I'm trying to photograph that I can't get the edge of the cliff in with the 24-105. So and as I want to get the shape of that cliff in there, I've had to switch to the 16-35. But that's looking quite nice now on the back of the camera with the composition set up. So I'm literally just waiting for the light to change, and then I'll get the filters into place. I don't know how you would normally do your long exposures. For me, I shoot everything in manual. So one of the first things you're going to want to do when you're shooting a long exposure image is to put your camera into manual mode. Also, if you use autofocus, I manually focus everything, but if you do use autofocus, I would advise that once you've focused on your subject, you switch the autofocus off so that it's not hunting, it's not constantly trying to focus, especially when you put the filters into place and it darkens everything down and the camera's trying to focus. Also, if you've got image stabilization on your lens, turn that off, because again, the motor is constantly hunting to stabilize the camera, and it doesn't need to because it's sat on a tripod. So all you're going to do is end up burning that motor out. So if you're going to autofocus, do that, and then switch to manual focus, so it's not going to change the focus setting, and also switch off your image stabilization so you're not damaging your lens there at all. So I'm still waiting for this light, but once the light has sorted itself out, once that cloud comes over, we'll get the filters on and we'll start looking at what sort of length exposure we're going to take. Now we've got blue sky. It's just absolutely nuts today, absolutely nuts. 1 minute it's blue sky and sunshine, the next minute it's cloud and rain. Hey, landscape photography at its finest. Anyway, we finally got the light that I've been looking for. That glare has gone off to sea. So I've got the camera all set up. So settings wise, I've switched to bulb mode, because with the settings I'm using, it's going to be quite a long exposure. It's 1 minute and 42 seconds according to the app. I've got my Misty true color polarizer on, set to take the glare off the water. I've got the 3-stop medium GND just to control the light in that sky, and then I've got my 10-stop ND. My original settings were 1/10 of a second, f11 and ISO 50. Those settings, when I put them into the app with the 10-stop ND filter, gave me a shutter speed of 1 minute and 42 seconds. So I put the camera into bulb mode to do that, because naturally your camera's natural setting is 30 seconds of exposure. So 1 minute 42 seconds bulb mode. I've set that in camera timer. Not all cameras have a timer. Sometimes you might have to time it with your watch or whatever way is easiest for you. But for me, I can set it on the camera so that it's actually timing 1 minute 42 seconds. So I'm going to start this off now, and hopefully we get a decent result out of it. So let's give it a go and see what happens, shall we? So those changeable conditions have bitten a little bit. I've ended up taking several images actually, and I've had to adjust my settings as I've gone. So when I took the original shot at 1 minute 42 seconds, the sky cleared a little bit. We had a little break in the cloud, and we had a lot of light reflecting off the sea down here, which just completely blew out the image. So that one's a complete write-off. But the last image that I took, which I think is going to work quite nicely, was at 1 minute and 30 seconds, f11 ISO 50. And that's looking really nice. A lot of that cloud has come over now, taking the sunlight out of that sky. The glare has gone off of the water down there. There are some little areas in the sky that are highlighted, not blown out, but highlighted. So I'll have to see what I can do with those when I get them into Photoshop. But I think that image is actually looking quite nice. Going to have to bring out some of the shadows in there just to bring out some of the detail again. A bit like I did with last week's video at Bossy Grand Cliffs. Bring out the detail that's in those shadows, which generally isn't a problem with modern cameras because they capture all of that detail. So that's looking pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wander down onto the headland behind you now, and see if I can recompose a portrait image looking back in towards these cliffs. Simply because from here I don't think a portrait image is really going to work because of the shape of the bay, but I think maybe from down on that headland that there might be an option to do that shot. I'll see what we get. It's rain's coming in again now. You can feel the damp in the air coming through. In fact, I can see it. I can see it coming in off the coast now. But I'm still going to go on this headland. We'll have a look on this headland and we'll see what we can find, and hopefully we get another shot out of it. So I've managed to get a composition down here. I'm not sure really if I can spin you around so you can see where I am now. I've come down over the edge of that headland, and to be fair, it's probably just as well. You can't see exactly where I'm standing. I don't actually have room to set this camera up properly to talk to you. I'm having to hold it so that I can talk to you. We've got quite a lot of mist rolling in here now. I've had to make some changes to my setup. So I'm still shooting at ISO 50. I'm still setting at f11. And I'm still using my 3-stop medium GND, but I've gone over to my 6-stop ND now because the light here, I don't need the 10-stop for this now. The light has dropped off quite extensively, as you can see behind me. There's no sunlight, there's no reflections, there's no glare, there's no nothing. So I've gone with the 6-stop, and that's given me a 20-second exposure in portrait, as you can see. That's looking quite nice. So I think that's probably all I'm going to do from here at this point, because it's a bit precarious, to say the least. And I'd like to get back up on the top now, please, if you don't mind. So I've taken a couple of images, and the image that I took up there just now, with the 10-stop, and the one I've just done with the 6-stop, I'm going to post those both up on the screen now for you to take a look at. Wow, check this. See how those conditions have changed all over again. Look at it. Good grief. Can't even see low bar now. I'm not sure what else we're going to get. I'm going to carry on down towards low bar and see if this conditions change. If not, that could well be the end of the video for today. But we'll see. I mean, it's so changeable that anything can happen in the next few minutes. So hopefully it'll pass through again. So fingers crossed, eh? So how completely mad is this? Look at it. we've gone from all that mist that we had just now, it's cleared right the way through again. Look, if I come around, look at that. Oh yeah, there's my camera set up, by the way. So what I've done is I've come across the other side of the cove. Well, there you go. There's the cove behind me that I was shooting, and that headland over there is where I was just now. Just now for you, a little bit longer than that for me, but there we go. I can't get over the way the mist. I don't think you can see it, but there's mist rolling in over the hills over here. It's just absolutely incredible. But so anyway, let me show you what we're up to. As I said, I've come around to the other side of the cove. There's the camera all set up. There is the cove behind me, which looks a little bit different from this side. So a bit like Western Cove down at Portreath. I'm shooting the cove from both sides. I've just shot that. Actually, I've just taken a couple of images there. Let me just have a quick look at that. Sorry, I'm having to hold you because it's a bit difficult to put you down anyway. Looking quite good, that. So that shot that I've just taken is ISO 50, f11 and 8 seconds of exposure, and that's smoothed that out quite nicely down there. Now, maybe controversially, a lot of photographers say that the 10-stop ND is the photographer's best friend, but actually I find that I use my 6-stop ND far more than I use the 10-stop, and that generally is my go-to filter, and it's just beautiful, all that movement down the day. So anyway, I've taken that in landscape. I'm just going to see whether or not there's a portrait image to be had there, and once I've done that, then we will move around again. And my intention is to head over that way along the coast path and see if we can get a view of the beach over there. Can you see the beach? Headed out towards Low Bar, Gunwalloe Beach and Low Bar over there. So I want to try and get a shot looking along there with the curve of the beach and a nice long exposure image of that. So we'll see how that goes. I can't see any mist on the horizon now, so I think we must be doing all right for a minute or two. So we're going to make the most of that. Like I said, I'm going to have a go at a portrait image of this, see whether or not that works. And then when I've done that, I'll pop any images up on the screen for you. If you are enjoying my videos, not just specifically this one, but any of the ones you may have found on my channel, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button and don't forget the little notification bell so that you'll be alerted at any time that a video goes out, particularly when you see some of the conditions that I'm out in and how changeable things can be. And I just really appreciate it. I'm really close to 400 subscribers. I think I'm on 396 at the time of shooting this video, so it would be absolutely amazing to get to 400 subscribers. So please do hit that button, subscribe to the channel, and I do appreciate all your support. Thank you very much. So I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I've decided to set up and shoot this little isolated cove just here. What I've got is the cove below me. I've got none of the foreground, none of the grass in the foreground. I didn't want any of that. It was just looking too messy. I've just got the beach, the cove, and the shape of the coast as it goes away from me. I'm going to work quite quickly because I can see the misty rain coming in yet again, and I'm even further away from the car now than I was previously. So actually that's looking really nice. I'm actually quite pleased with that. So settings wise, I've had to adjust the ISO. I've had to put the ISO up. That's up to ISO 100 from ISO 50. F-stop is at F11, exposure is at 30 seconds. Nisi true color polarizer, 3-stop medium GND, 6-stop ND, and that is looking really nice. There's some really nice light actually in that image, which I'm losing quite rapidly now. But that is looking really nice. So I'm going to recompose that again, as I normally do. I'm going to recompose that into a portrait image, see if I can get a shot, and then I'm going to reassess from there, depending on how long this rain is going to come in for, because it is coming in quite quickly. So we'll try and get over to a point where we're looking over Low Bar, because it is a shot that I would like to do, but I've got absolutely no guarantees at this point that I'm going to get anywhere. Mainly because, where's that wheel gone? Oh, there it is. Mainly because at this point I am a little concerned about getting another drenching. And it's not actually the camera or me that I'm worried about, it's the phone that I filmed the videos on, because I don't think the phone is waterproof. And the last thing I want is a damn thing waterlogged and me not able to shoot any videos and needing a new phone. So we'll see how it goes in a minute. I might just stick the phone back in my pocket or in my bag where it's nice and dry, and we'll go from there. But I'm gonna redo this in portrait at the moment, same settings, and then I'll pop both of those images up on the screen for you to look at. But I think they're looking quite nice. I've just stopped for a moment as I'm walking across towards Low Bar and Gunwalloe Beach, just to show you this moment of light coming through that mist. Absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got any compositions here to actually shoot it, but maybe there's something a bit further across, maybe it hangs around long enough, but I just wanted to stop a moment and show you that little bit of light coming through there, because it is just beautiful. I think possibly it looks better to the naked eye than it does on the camera, but it is beautiful. So we've made it over to Gunwalloe Beach and overlooking towards Low Bar at the same time. And as you can see now, we have some light in that sky. So we are only about 20 minutes from sunset. I think that bank of cloud that's below that light is going to be too much. I don't think we're going to get any colour during sunset, but I have got the camera set up and I have taken a couple of images already to do that, settings wise. I'm at ISO 100. F11 and 20 seconds of exposure. I've got the Nisi True Color CPL in there, which this time I'm using to allow a little bit of light into that bay, simply because it is a little bit dark in there. I'm not getting much detail otherwise, so I'm using that to actually allow some light in there. I've got the 3-stop medium GND to take some of that light out of the sky and just control and balance it. And again, the 6-stop ND, which, as I've already said, is my go-to for ND filters, really. That image in landscape is looking really nice. I'm going to recompose it in portrait, as I always do. I'm not sure how much more of that colour we're going to get. The mist, at least for a moment, has cleared again, although I think there is some rain coming. I can see something out on the horizon. But we'll stay and we'll play around a little bit. I was going to go back to Dollar Cove and try and shoot on the beach at Dollar Cove, but we're so close to sunset now that I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that. By the time I get back there, I think it's going to be too dark to do that. So Dollar Cove, we'll keep for another time. I have got a little bit of an idea that I've come up with while I've been here. Hang on a second. Just take another shot. A little bit of an idea for another shoot in this location, but I might have to wait a little while for that to pay off. That's not going to pay off immediately. That's going to be a little bit later into the year, autumn sort of time, maybe early winter. We'll see, but I've got an idea, and hopefully it'll be a good one. So I'm just going to recompose this image, and we'll see what we've got, and then I'll post those images up on the screen for you, and then I will again decide what it is I'm going to do, whether I'm going to stay and keep shooting or whether I'm going to head back and finish the video. But stay tuned, because I'm not even sure myself at this point. So I think that is it for today, folks. That's it for another video. Thank you to those of you who have stuck through until the bitter end of this one. This is not what I intended to come out doing this evening. I had a very different plan in mind, but the weather has just thrown everything into chaos. I think despite that, I've come away with some images that I'm quite pleased with. I can only see them on the back of the screen of the camera at the moment, but once I get them home, I think I've got some really nice images there. The light now is pretty much gone. We're just dealing with a bank of cloud. In fact, I think there might be some more rain out on the horizon. So I think that's it from me. As I said, thank you ever so much for sticking to the end of this video. It's been a very challenging session, this one, with the changing weather and the wind, and ironically that wind has dropped away now, and for a moment it's not raining, but like I said, I can see rain out there on the horizon. So I'm going to be heading back down to Church Cove now, jump back in the car and head for home. But please do remember to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so that you're always up to date with everything that I'm doing. And any other images that I've taken since the last time I spoke to you, I'll pop up on the screen right now for you to take a look at. Hopefully I'll see you all again soon.